You're hiking alone at dusk. The trail narrows. Behind you, footsteps that don't match your rhythm. You don't turn around. That's the rule everyone knows, but nobody follows. Then the footsteps stop. The silence is worse. This is what happened to Sarah Chen on October 14th, 2019, on a remote trail in Northern California's Trinity Alps. She was 3 miles from her car. No cell service. No other hikers reported that day. She heard the man before she saw him. Heavy breathing, deliberate steps, closing the gap too fast. Her body knew before her mind caught up. This wasn't another hiker asking for directions. She ran. Branches tore at her face. Her lungs burned with that specific panic that comes when you know you're hunted. Behind her, she heard him crash through the underbrush like he didn't care about noise anymore. He was close enough that she could hear him call out, not words, just sounds. Animal sounds. That's when something shifted in the forest. The first sound came from somewhere above and behind her attacker. It wasn't a scream. It was something beyond screaming. Witnesses who've heard it describe it as guttural, impossibly low, and so loud the trees seemed to vibrate. The man attacking Sarah stopped mid-stride. His footsteps froze. Then he ran. Not toward her, away. Into the opposite direction of that sound, crashing downslope with the same desperation she'd just been running with. Sarah kept moving until she found a ranger station 2 miles further down. She reported the attack. The police found no evidence of the man. But they found something else. Large footprints, deeper than any human footprint, with a span of 17 inches between heel and toe. The impressions were so distinct that the forensic team documented them in 3 separate locations across a half-mile radius. The prints stopped where the second sound had originated. Here's what gets buried in the police report, filed under contributing factors to suspect flight. The ranger who investigated wrote, and these are his exact words, "Victim reports unidentified vocalizations of unknown origin that precipitated suspect's retreat. Audio evidence inconclusive. Recommend geological survey." That recommendation was never followed up on. What lives in that gap between the science they could explain and the science they couldn't is the real story. Because Sarah's attacker didn't just run from fear. He ran from recognition. Something in that sound told him he wasn't the apex predator in that forest anymore. He wasn't the thing to be afraid of. The footprints matched no known animal. Too large for a bear, wrong shape for a primate. The Forestry Service closed the case as inconclusive wildlife encounter, but they quietly increased ranger patrols in that area. They didn't say why. Your attacker runs when something older knows you're being hunted.